Well, with women's soccer and the recruiting right now, it's done so early. So having Scott, as our recruiting coordinator, and having been ahead of this 2010 class, we really feel like we've got some good depth and some real quality players. So we've been recruiting this class for the last 2 years. So it helps having that continuity of staff, and then obviously getting the quality players in. Well, I mean, we obviously want to improve on the results. I mean, I think we left a couple of games out there last year that we played well, just weren't able to put the teams away. This year, we've got another tough schedule, non-conference against some good NCAA, tournament teams, and be able to play against teams that are very competitive and will replicate what our conference schedule is like. So for us, it's about getting results. We play a very tough schedule in terms of all of our games, all of our non-conference games are on the road or at neutral sites. So it's going to be a real good test for us to learn how to play out of our comfort zone. Well, our incoming class is going to be, have a lot of that pressure on them. But we've got some players within the program that are going to have to step up that did a good job last year. But certainly finding some answers with that freshman class, and we have that. I mean, we recruited heavily on the attacking half of the ball with Emily Baines, Katie Holtz-Apple, and then Ali Bubaropoulos. Those players really have shown well in camp, and we're really hoping that they step up and continue to develop, as well as some of the returning players we have up top, like Casey Ward and Cheyenne Skidmore. And, we recruit players that we think are going to play and contribute immediately. That's what we say to everybody. We open up a very competitive preseason camp, and we look for the best players that are going to help us compete and win. And we certainly have a handful of freshmen this year that will be competing, I hope, on opening night. Yeah, Jocelyn's a very steady goalkeeper, and has moments of brilliance, and she is somebody that we feel very comfortable with. She has started each of the last 2 years about half of the games, so she's well experienced, and she's continued to develop over the summer, playing in the leagues over the summer, and so she's ready, and having that confidence as a coaching staff and players, but more importantly, her teammates have the full confidence in her and what she can accomplish on the field. So that's it. But we couple that with two senior captain center backs in Sam Young and Melissa Gomes. So, our defense will be steady. We'll have some experience back there in leadership. I don't think they're going to have to step up. We've got some players that did it all last year. Players like Courtney McKee in the central midfield and Annie Hill in the central midfield. They both were mainstays in our starting lineup last year. Cheyenne Skidmore came off the bench a lot last year, but she's going to continue to contribute. So those 3 or 4 players are going to be the players that we're really looking to create that depth in our starting lineup. But we've got a couple other players that have really done a great job over last spring. Players like Kim Spees as an outside back. I mean, she's a player that's been in the program for 3 years now, and she's kind of been the jack of all trades and played all over the field for us. And she's settled into a defensive role for us. Well, we want to play against the best competition that we can to prepare us for our conference season. And playing teams like Charlotte, like Loyola, St. Louis, Monmouth, they're teams that have winning traditions. And Loyola won their conference last year, Monmouth won their conference. So those are teams that we expect to be, with a tradition and, a confidence when we play them. Very similar to most of the teams in our conference. So, we've got those tournaments. I like the tournaments because they replicate what we do on a conference weekend. We play Friday and Sunday in conference. We're going to do that again with a lot of these tournaments. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and the competition will be very very even. Well, the conference is going to be very tough again. I think it's going to be even more balanced than it's been, but we return a NCAA tournament team in UNC Wilmington. They won the conference championship last year, and I believe they return almost their entire team. So that's going to be a team that was very blue collar, very difficult to play. They were athletic all over the field, Northeastern returns most of their players that helped them claim the first, the regular season title last year. They got a new coach, but I think they're going to still be very, very talented. Then you have a team like Hofstra that was probably the best soccer playing team in the conference last year, and they return, I think, 7 or 8 starters, so they're going to be very, very good. And then James Madison is always an explosive, athletic team, so that's going to be, probably the top 4 teams in our conference. But you got teams like William and Mary and Old Dominion out there that have a lot of tradition and a lot of pride, and they're going to be fighting obviously to keep their head above water too, because only the top 4 in our conference make the conference tournament.